Have you ever hidden a part of you from someone, maybe that you just met, or a friend, because you disagreed with how they viewed a subject, and you were afraid that if they knew the truth that maybe they wouldn't want to be your friend anymore, or maybe they would look at you in this totally different way? Well, I have. You see, for one of my classes, I had to attend a group on campus, a club or organization that I normally wouldn't because I disagree with something that they believe in. So for mine, I chose the Vox Club, Voices for Planned Parenthood, because it's the pro-choice group on campus. And being pro-life, I thought, what better club to join than the pro-choice group? There was a bigger message that I learned at the end of the whole process, after the dust had settled, after I'd stopped going to meetings, and that's the one that I took home with me. You see, I remember talking with one of the members who's actually going to be the vice president next year, and she said, Frankie, we're more than just a pro-choice group, but we advocate for women in healthcare. And even so, I remember feeling so restrained, and that I couldn't tell her the truth. I couldn't tell her, why I just really could not be a part of this club, because it went more than just, the pro-choice aspect of it, but what their club stood for. And I got to thinking why I couldn't tell her something like that, something I was so passionate about. I couldn't tell her my views on it because I was afraid of what she may think of me. I was afraid that she may judge me if she really knew the truth, that I disagreed completely with what she was telling me. And I was afraid that maybe this friendship that had formed between us would be broken. So I remember, going away from that and really thinking about why I didn't tell her. But I saw this video on what's called TED Talks, and it was by Sally Kahn. It was titled Emotional Correctness. And in this talk, she speaks of one of her co-workers who they butt heads on political issues. She doesn't agree with what he believes in. And so she said that he was 99% politically incorrect, but 1% emotionally correct. And she said it was that 1% that set him apart from others because of the way he treated other people. She agreed with his emotional correctness in that he had love for other people. He didn't let their views, their political views, get in the way of how he treated them. He didn't hate someone because of what they believed. And that really resonated with me and this whole message for this experience that I went through, because she's right. People get so wrapped up in how the world views things. The world, society, they say, you're either on this side or you're on this side, and you better pick which side you're on because you can't be friends with the other side. And that's so wrong. We have this messed up image that if you believe something differently from what another person believes, that you can't be friends with them. And I feel like society even condones this hatred between these two groups. It was the last meeting that I attended that I really saw this. I went to the meeting. I knew that it was going to be about abortion. It was called Abortion Diaries, and it was a documentary that we watched about a group of women who got together and they formed a support group, and it was for people who had had abortions. And not even 10 minutes in, I had to leave. And before you think anything, hear me out. This woman got on the screen and talked about how the abortion that she had was a good thing because it gave her a second chance at life that maybe she wouldn't have. And I remember my stomach, it started to turn, and my hands, my palms were getting sweaty, and I just wasn't feeling good. And I had to leave. And I know that sounds so dramatic, but it was the truth. I couldn't stand the thought of what she was saying. And I walked away, and I was afraid of what the people in the group may think of me walking out. because I didn't want them to think that it was because I didn't like them anymore, but it was just because I disagreed with their beliefs and I didn't want to be a part of something like that anymore. And I think that's where people they misinterpret things. They get a screwed up image of how it should be. I may disagree with the people of the Vox community, but I still love the people of the Vox community. I still want to be their friend just because I don't agree with, something that they believe in. And that's the message that I really took home from all of this. Just like Sally Kahn said, people can be politically incorrect, but they can be emotionally correct. And it's that emotional correctness that draws people together and that forms friendships. Many of my friends, I don't agree with, their lifestyles or how they may view something, but I'm still friends with them. It doesn't make me love them any less. And I think that's what people really need to understand. Because this world, you're going to meet people that, they're going to think differently than you, and you may butt heads on that. But don't dismiss them just because they believe something differently. Because you tell me, why can't you be friends?